I'd like to call the meeting to order. So do we need a roll call? Not everybody is here.
They're not online,
If they're not online.
Then
we don't have to,
Okay, great.
and you're quiet.
Yes. And Julie will be here, but she will be late. And Paul is not on Zoom yet.
See,
He wasn't sure whether he was gonna come.
No, he's not there yet.
Yep.
Yeah,
he is.
There is. So now everything has to be roll call.
you don't have to go over there. There, it should be in there, yeah.
Paul, can you hear us?
Oh, yeah.
And I don't see him.
He's right there.
Okay. Paul, can you unmute yourself? Thank you. Excellent. Make a motion to approve, the minutes of August 19.
Second,
You gotta do first the agenda.
Oh, first the attendance.
Yeah.
Okay, Paul Gibbons.
present, yes,
Thank you, Terry.
Here.
Sue Davy. Yeah. Bill.
Here.
Tom.
here,
Karen.
Yo,
Excellent.
Here.
Oh, Steve. Thank you, sir. Sorry. Okay, can I have a motion to approve the minutes from
so
August?
moved.
Second,
second,
and Paul.
One correction.
Oh, yes, thanks.
We're going to section C, old business, soccer, Olympian Meadows. It's just, young lad that was here, his last name is Curtin, not Corinne.
Thank you. Can you, just Curtis?
Curtin, Curtin,
Oh, it is Curtin?
Curtin.
Okay, great, thanks. Make a motion to amend that. Do we need to amend that spelling error?
Just say it.
Okay.
Approve with correction.
Approved with correction, but we have to roll call vote. So Paul? Paul, can you hear me?
yes, I
This-
can,
The motion to approve the amended minutes from August 19th.
approve,
Thank you, Steve.
Yes.
Yes.
So that's Terry. Yes. Sue Davy,
Yes.
Bill.
yes,
Karen.
Yeah,
Ilana.
you need to identify this because Carolyn listens to this and is wondering what in the devil goes on. And also people need to speak slowly and directly into the owl.
Thank you. Carolyn cannot hear what, what Terry said, which is that the spelling of Brendan's last name is Curtin. And that's the only amendment for the minutes. Thank you. Okay, parks usage requests. Houstonic basketball. Please come forward, will you?
Take the seat of honor and slide it up here. Thank you, sir.
You wanna take us through your parks usage request?
Houstonic Youth Basketball, requesting to use the Houstonic Community Center, Monday through Friday, 5 to 8, Saturday, 8:30 to 8, excluding the Saturdays that Berkshire Grown is using it, and then Sunday, 11:30 to 8.
Great. Make a motion to approve.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Okay, any discussion? I know you guys were working out
We'll
some.
work out if there's a time issue.
Okay, anything else for anyone?
Oh, I have a question.
Hey, guys, I'm so sorry, I'm having trouble hearing.
If you
Thanks.
need it chatting, you go in the hallway. Thank you. What about the floor? Are we doing the floor? Does it need to be done?
So
There's a guy behind you who's waving his hand. They won't let him
Matt and
go.
I talked about that. As I've talked to, I think your group.
Yeah.
And others, I asked Darren to stop and look at it.
Okay,
I think everyone's pretty much saying it doesn't need to be done.
nice.
But
That's
it-
fine.
you know, he just needs a good professional cleaning, so I'll follow up with Aaron.
Great. Thank you.
Now, is there an issue with the door that you wanted to ask about, or?
discussed that already.
Okay,
Either is fist. Well,
any more discussion about this?
That's good.
Okay,
And the
motion,
certificate of insurance will be handed in as soon as
Oh.
it's mailed to us. And paid for.
Okay. so a motion to approve, contingent on receiving the insurance. Thank you. Excellent. Okay, Paul. This is a
Approve.
motion. Thank you. Steve,
Yes.
Terry,
Yes,
Drew
Terry.
Davy,
Yes.
Bill,
Yes.
Tom.
Yes.
yes.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Next.
All
Thank
set.
you.
Excellent. Next, so, Railroad Street Youth Project.
Molly Lovejoy.
Hi, yes, this is Molly standing in for Devin, who is sick, unfortunately. But our request is to use the Hoosie Dome every Tuesday from 3 to 5 for Du Bois Middle School group mentoring. It's the same thing that was previously on Wednesdays in years past, but we're just switching the day.
Great.
We have a problem. I'm gonna tell you what's happening. Yeah, they wanna go till 5 and basketball starts at 5. So what we need to do is, can I make a suggestion? And I wish Matt didn't leave, is that they get out at 4:15 and they start at 10, you know what I mean, just give them some time there.
Well, yeah, so, just so the commissioners know, at the back of your park usage request, there's calendars to help you, your decision in there.
Yeah,
But to your point, Karen, if someone asks from 3 to 5, it means you're done at 5. You're not finishing at 5, you're finishing up at 5.
right,
And same thing with basketball.
they start at
You
5.
start at 5, you're out of there at 8:30.
Okay.
So Molly, how does that sound for you?
That sounds totally doable.
Okay, cool.
Great, great.
Well, let's-
Motion to approve. I'm sorry, go ahead. Tell
I
us
said
more.
I'll just talk about it with Devin and let him know the situation.
Okay, great.
Motion approved.
A second?
Second.
Okay, Paul,
Approve.
Steve,
Yes.
Terry,
Yes,
Drew Davy,
Yes.
Bill.
Yep.
Tom.
Yes.
Yes.
And also me, yes, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Molly, so much. You gonna stay on for later?
Yeah, I'll be here.
Okay, perfect, thanks very much. Extra specialties. Hi, welcome. If I could ask you to speak loud so that Carolyn can
I'll
hear.
try.
Thank
My
you so
voice
much.
is scary, but I'll try.
No problem.
We're requesting to use the Hoosie Dome on Tuesdays from 1 to 2, Thursday 11 to 12, and Friday 11 to 12. Just for recreational use, and we can, in the cold weather, we can't go use the park across the street,
Yes,
so.
Fridays. It's gotta be a little later because pickleball is there.
Fridays, right, it's so
So
the,
12, so I'm
so-
just, usually they're done by like 11:30, so you're gonna have to amend that, Jennifer.
Can we do, I think last year we ran into this, can we do 1 to 2?
I don't see why not, I think that would be fine.
So we'll change Friday from 1 to 2.
Yeah, I just think it makes it simple.
Great,
Motion to approve as amended.
Second, Mr. Aberdale's got his hand up.
what's the use?
What's the use, extra specialties?
Extra specialties.
Everything thirty?
No, it's just for recreational use, like.
Okay, I just didn't see that here.
Yeah,
It's okay, we'll clue you in.
I didn't want to tease.
No,
I understand.
no tea.
but have you discussed in the past proper use and floors and balls and things like that?
I believe so.
Cause
Make
this,
sure your
this was
shoes
done
and your grip is
last
off.
year too.
You don't want,
Was there any problems last year?
well, we don't know, just don't, street shoes should not be on there, they need to change into shoes for the
Okay.
gym.
Yeah, clean floors. clean-
Okay,
Yes, Bill?
Do we have a list of like what, do we have like a list of recommendations that we can give to people?
We are working on it,
Yeah,
but we
that
do
would be
not
great.
yet. Mhm.
Yeah, and then we can just hand it, you know, here's our rules and regs.
Yes, we
Yeah,
are
that's good.
working on it as
Cool.
part of policy and procedures. Yes, good. Okay, so, there was a motion and a second. So Paul, motion to approve?
Approve.
Steve,
Yes.
Terry,
Yes,
Drew Davy,
yes.
Bill.
Yep.
Tom,
Yes.
Yeah,
me also. Thank you.
Thank
All set.
you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So we're gonna make a note, Carolyn, that is changed on Fridays from 1 to 2.
Thanks, Jennifer.
Thanks.
Great. Okay, moving right along. Just a note about the agenda. Right now, we have old business, new business, parks, care and maintenance and updates. And so we're gonna shift that over the next few months to be a little bit clearer. For now, this is, the old business is stuff that has been talked about in the past.
Mhm.
And we will, some of these will move to updates as they're ongoing projects. So just to start the conversation again about Old Maids. Just this afternoon, I know that I got some new information. I think that it would make a lot of sense for us to table this to next month's meeting because
So moved.
there's a lot, okay, second, okay. All in favor? Do we,
Aye.
yeah.
You really don't have to.
Okay,
Yeah,
great.
just
Excellent.
say
Moving right
go
along,
by now.
tabling Old Maids till next month. Sound good?
Good.
Great. Updates on Memorial Field scoreboard. Paul, do you want to say anything about that?
We're still in discussion about, I have to talk with Joe to see if there's any workaround to the installation costs, which are tremendous. The
Right.
scoreboards at the Olympia Meadows, I'm not sure we ever discussed how they were gonna be installed, but I don't believe that we can put them up, put up a scoreboard at Memorial Field the way it was done down at the Olympia Meadows. So, I think we gotta discuss this further because,
Great.
Wheeler and Taylor isn't, wanna pay for that kind of installation. And we certainly don't have the money in this year's budget or in any budget that I know of in order to install them according to the way the, quote read. So I think
Great.
we need to put this over, until I can talk with Joe to see what we can do.
Awesome.
So Paul, do you think we table it for 2 months, that give you time?
Pardon?
We table it for 2 months?
I think that
Does
would be
work for
good.
you?
Yes,
Great.
Okay, make a motion, we table the Memorial Field
Second,
scoreboard for 2 months.
Excellent. Great. Parking? Oh,
no,
no, next.
I have more information
Oh, great.
on this particular issue. I was at a game on Saturday. And, this is from Luke, and he goes, it was great to see the game, the field's doing great, play every Saturday. You can get our schedule on standing by using the Game Changer app and looking up Wolves in Great Barrington. If you can't make the game, we do all the scoring online. I talked to him about this whole thing, if we had a scoreboard, would it be able to be managed by the coaches? He says, we do it now on this Game Changer app. So I know that was an issue before, people say, well, who's gonna manage it? It can be dealt with. So I thought that was an interesting, comment from their part, but I watched it. A friend of mine had it, I was like, oh my God,
Yeah,
we're going live at Memorial Field.
great. So that clearly is something that needs to be a part of the conversation.
It
as we
absolutely
move
can be
forward.
done by the coaches through an app, it's not a big deal,
Excellent.
just so you know.
Great. Next item is, do you want to share what you
Yes.
learned about? the department?
We had I don't know, I had a 3 o'clock in the morning wake up going, why don't we have any parking for baseball? So I went out on a limb and I called DJ Mahita. Who's a friend, I hadn't talked to him in a while, I said, DJ. I said, we get that whole parking lot next to the ball field. And he's like, I'm leaving for Greece for my 20th wedding anniversary. I said, VJ, if I get it organized with DPW, moving the bollards and whatever else, could we use it for overflow parking? He's like, absolutely. So within a day, Joe had his crew move the bollards, patch the, whatever. I got a certificate of insurance from the town, sent it to VJ by email. So we now have parking in that lot next to where they pulled out the gym. So that's available at least till the end of October. When he returns home in a week or so, we're gonna have a little chat, and maybe that it will be able to be used this winter if the town plows it. I mean, we have an availability now of the space, so I think it's working out. It's just a really.
At this point, are there any restrictions on the space?
We have not come up with any restrictions. The interesting thing is I was there, when I got there at 12:15 on Saturday, it was pretty well packed up.
That's what my question was gonna be.
Well, here's the other thing is that it's probably 24 spaces that we didn't have.
Yes,
What I don't want to have happen, and if it becomes an issue, I don't want it to become employee parking. That's what I'm concerned about.
employee parking,
Could co-offer and everybody else
you mean for, like,
in town.
in town employee park?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let me just ask, being a little naive, if employees park there, that will open up more spaces in town anyway.
I'm never hopeful. It's sort of like the affordable housing.
I said
thing. If you
95.
got more housing, it's sort of, what, I'm not gonna make a huge deal about this until VJ gets back from Greece and Joe and I are in discussion. All I did is I had a brainstorm in the middle of the night and it's like, oh, we've got a place we can get 25 more cars. Wouldn't that be great? So people could go use it for the games and the fans and everything else.
It's awesome. And also if he's willing to come and be a part of the conversation, we know that this is also an issue with the skate park. We know that this is an issue with all the downtown recreational
I think
opportunities.
that I'm gonna let him get back from his 25-year anniversary and we'll discuss it peacefully with Mr. Aberdale and myself. We'll just see where we're going.
Great. Can you let us know if it needs to be on?
I will, if
October.
I think Parks and Rec need to be involved in this, I will. I want to get more of a sense from him.
Excellent. Done with that. Soccer at Olympian Meadows. Is there anyone here specifically for that? Otherwise, I think it makes sense for us to table that item also. Anybody here? No. Okay, so we're gonna table that till October also. Plenty to talk about, but lots on our agenda for today. Parks usage request form. Did it get, I don't think it got put in the docket.
I didn't see it, and I haven't seen it printed out.
Okay,
No,
so this is just, stay tuned between now and the next meeting. I'm going to ask everybody on the committee to test it. It is a new Google form that will be available on the website. And if everyone could put in all of the information so that we can see how it comes through to make sure that it's gonna work for our needs. Kara did a great job sort of making the first draft of it and it needs to be tested. Sound good?
Yes,
Okay.
great.
On that, I want to tell them about our DP Parks email.
Yes. We have a new GB Parks email. It is now on the front page. I just want to make sure that this is true. That it is on the front page of, so does everybody know when you go to fill out the parks usage request form, there's a little letter? No, this one still has the old one on it.
yeah, and this has got my address, so you gotta get rid of that.
Hold on one second. I'm just gonna confirm that it is.
Pretty sure it's changed on the website.
Okay.
Parks.
So GB Parks at
Who
townofgb.org.
monitors?
Right now, Joe sees it, Kara sees it, and I see it.
Okay, so your answer,
And-
Kara's mom.
And Chris sees it.
Great.
And Chris sees it.
I see it.
Great.
On the parks usage request form?
Oh.
Oh, you see it on the,
you
he
don't
sees
see
it on the
the
website.
Oh, man.
He sees it posted on the website. It is officially on the website.
Just confirming it for you.
Thank you. That's great.
Yeah, now move on.
Okay, good with that.
Sunday.
Julie's not here to talk a little bit more about Dewey Park, so I'm gonna just push this down because I think she is coming. Silvana, are you up for saying a little bit something about the community liaisons?
Oh, sure. Thank you. Good afternoon, everybody. I was here last month also. My name is Silvana Roaño, and I've been hired by the town of Barrington to be a community liaison with my partner Giovanna Pagano. She's not able to be here because of personal issues. And basically, our goal is to be the ears for the community and be the bridge for the community to bring any issues, needs that the community might have for parks and recreation and, you know, everything that is around town, like parking space, Lake Mansfield, all that. So I'll be here more often in all these meetings and I will bring also ideas and any suggestions that the community might have.
Thank you so much. So we're gonna have under the update section, we're gonna just ask you to very briefly each month update us on anything that has come through.
Absolutely.
Okay,
Yeah,
great.
I will.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Thanks so
Excellent.
much.
Thank you. Okay, Joe, 5-year plan, budget discussion. We've got 10 minutes.
So, I think this is in here just to start us all thinking, but, in your packet, there is a 5-year plan for the budget. But as you can see, it's not thought out for years in the future. So FY 25 is where we are, FY 26 is probably stuff we push from that FY 25. So I think as time goes on, we just, we need to kind of come up with a plan of where we're going with the parks. Not only for improvements, but we gotta remember, we gotta be able to maintain it.
Sure.
So I've asked Joe to include this in this month's packet because he's been explaining a little bit to me about the process of budgeting and the timeline. And so I want to get ahead of it so that it doesn't feel like all of a sudden in November or December, we have to make decisions to ask him to go to finance and select board. So what do you need from us, Joe, in terms of helping longer term planning with this?
Well, I think we, you guys at a commission, pretty much said, hey, Grove Street, they talked about, do we public input was, do we was kind of leave it as open space right now. That could change in your discussion. And then the next focal point was gonna be, the skate park. So the skate park number, as you'll see in a little while, is substantially different than what's in here. But so I think it's just, where does the commission want to make improvements, modifications, changes in the future, in the other parks?
Great.
So I think next year, we're just talking about 26, so that's the one we'll be looking for input on.
It would be helpful, and I don't think it's about, what are we looking at for CPA this year, what that affects the parks? Anything?
So, what I had on my radar was to try to get 50% funding on CPA for the skate park. That number is a couple $1 million in total to do the skate park with what's been requested of us. And you'll see that in the packet we handed out. So I think that probably needs some further discussion in the future meeting. Maybe we pick away at it, or maybe.
Yeah, we stage it or
maybe we
something
stage
like
it,
that.
maybe we have conversations with Mark about, hey, let's take so much money a year and put it, and once we have the money, enough money put aside, we'll do with that.
Got it.
So that could be 3 years worth of park savings and then do the work.
Got it.
If that's your priority. So I think we just need to get all our creative thinking together.
So what I'd love to hear from the commission, not tonight, but for the next meeting, is what we see as the priorities. We know that they're gonna change over the next 5 years, but like, where do we wanna put our time, attention, and resources so that Joe can kind of make a plan that is preparing us for.
It's me, but it's also a lot of the town and the finance department and everything, being able to plan financially for, debt service and things like that, or CPA funding requests and things like that, so.
Sure.
Yes.
I would say the skate park would be one of our priorities, because that's really maintaining. It's not building new. And so it would be, to me, it's silly to build something new when we need to maintain and upgrade what we already have.
Yes, I think coming to this point, like, we have already agreed, we've already decided that that's our next priority, but how that fits in with the realities of the budget and future planning is something that, like, I think we all need to have some thought about, and I also need to learn a little bit more about how it works. So,
And have we started to look for grants for this?
Chris and I are always looking.
Yeah.
You know,
You're looking, that's all
we're
we're looking.
looking.
I didn't ask if you found one yet.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure we're not looking, I'm not looking at all places. But I think if Chris wants to have this too, he can point them out, make it work on for.
Good. That would be another way of funding.
Yeah, yeah.
great. Any other questions for Joe or thoughts about this? This is just the beginning of the conversation. It's gonna be back on the agenda next month to talk in more detail.
I would think, you know, every meeting, if you spend 5 or 10 minutes on it, we just keep pecking away at.
What we want for each park.
I
Or what
think
we see.
Where you wanna go, the first conversation, where you wanna go next year?
Yeah, what's our focus gonna be?
Yeah, and then, I don't think if you went to the town and asked for $2 million, we'd give it to you. But if you turn around and say, hey, we could spend $100,000 or $300,000, you might get it.
Sure.
But so I think we just need to have that plan to show to the town fathers so they can say, hey, these guys know where they're going. Right now, it doesn't look like much.
No, that's good.
So can I ask commissioners to come to the next meeting with some thought given to what are maybe like top 3 priorities over the next year or two, couple of years are? Sound good?
Sure.
Yeah. Okay,
We're in this.
great.
We just did.
Moving right along. Kathy Plunge's letter made it to the Parks packet. Did everyone have a chance to read it and see it?
Yep.
Yes.
So. Anybody wanna just have initial thoughts? Paul is here. And I guess,
Well, it's something that we had
He's not there.
started some discussion on.
yeah,
And it's just through me that she would come
Okay.
on her own to something. To see about doing something that we have started the discussion about.
yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I'm curious Paul's thoughts, but I also think that this is, that Kathy's letter brings to us a conversation that is maybe like a bigger conversation about what we do about honoring people and dedications and how we, I don't know, celebrate here. Paul, do you want to say anything about this?
Well, I mean, the letter, I think, speaks for itself. The 2 individuals that Kathy has mentioned in there certainly deserve some kind of recognition, but there could very well be other people that, some other individuals that we may not all be aware of. And I think that your initial suggestion to me earlier today is certainly is something that we should do. It's talk about policies for that. We already have named one park for one individual. We did that several years ago up in Housatonic. But I agree that we should have some discussion about this. I think the offer that Kathy has made is very generous. And I think we should certainly consider doing something for those 2 individuals. But as I said, I think there could be other individuals that we should be honoring too. So if it's a subcommittee to develop some kind of policy or guidelines for doing things like this, I certainly would be in favor of it.
Great, I do see Eileen's hand up, but Bill is gonna go next, and I just wanna say that what I had mentioned to Paul is I think that this needs to go to subcommittee to discuss in greater detail, sort of in the context of what we do, how we do it. Bill?
So I've been to a number of parks just around the country, actually, and specifically like parks that have a lot of historical meaning to the towns and areas. And I think this is a wonderful letter that Kathy Plunge sent, and I think some of these parks, what they have is a plaque that we can engrave people's names in. Thank you to these people who've given so much. And then, because people are giving a lot right now. And as time goes on, that I would see the process being more who gets included on that plaque. But a single plaque that we recognize the people that have given a lot towards that one park or that one field or whatever.
Thank you, Bob, your chairman of the subcommittee.
Yeah, Steve?
Well, I agree with Bill, and they make plaques that you can screw on little plaques, so that you can continue it. The one thing which you already brought up, Alana, is we wanna make sure, at least as best we can, we don't miss anybody.
Yeah,
That's just gonna take away from what we're trying to do.
right.
And the other, we have a number of parks, we have Casanova Park, we have Tracy Park, so they're named after people. And- Yeah, sure, so we just had a Stanley Park, so we really have to look at how we wanna do this. This park already has a name. What Kathy's asking for is not to take away from the name of the park or change it, is to put a plaque up.
So I
Makes
just,
sense.
yeah, so I just wanna say, like, I so appreciate Kathy's letter and want to honor it and figure out how to honor it.
Sure.
But I think it requires a longer conversation. So may I have volunteers to join a subcommittee to discuss this particular thing? Please. Oh, Shoe Davy is one.
Paul, I'd love you to do it because you have the historical knowledge.
Yeah, I certainly would, like to be part of the subcommittee.
And you're on the list, big boy.
Thank you.
I thought you'd say that.
Anybody else? Aaron Smith,
What?
would you join that one? Do you wanna help with that?
Sure.
Okay.
Eileen's still on.
But I don't know if you wanna start.
Eileen, if it is relevant to this briefly, go ahead. Is it just that we didn't send you the letter yet? We will send it to you right away.
Good, and I wondered if you would read it for the people who might be watching. I assume I'm not the only one watching.
It is in the parks packet and I'm happy to share it with anyone who would like. Okay. Thank you. Great. Partially just because we have a very large agenda.
Correct.
Joe, parks care and maintenance.
So just,
Yes.
what I'm gonna do is I'll post it. It'll be a subcommittee
Yes.
and post it, so it'll be Paul, Sir Debbie and myself.
Yes.
And we'll get together and come up with some sort of process.
Thank you.
And, cause it's too open-ended the way it reads at this juncture.
Great. Thank you. Joe,
Memorial Field, every week that goes by, we're nearing completion. You know, there's small things that are out there that we're related. So, you know, recently you probably all seen some work to be done down there, you know, patching on replaced under there. You know, one of the things that ties to Kathy's request though, is we still have to paint the dugouts. There's things like that that's we're going, so unless there's any question or anything, I think it's work in progress.
great.
The
That's-
memorial plaque, because it ties in, it's by
That's what I wanna,
the Schneider building, which is what that's.
it should
building's called.
move.
Yeah, is there plans, or should we start that, or are you already planning to move that somewhere closer where people may see it?
This is the one with the two plaques that are in.
Yeah.
Two plaques and a stone and all that.
So, I think in the previous meeting, I had brought it up that, you know, don't seize it out there.
I agree with you.
It should be moved. You know, if we're thinking of taking down that stonework, which I understand was donated back in the day.
Yeah.
You know, and moving that, you're probably talking a fair amount of money to do that. I can get a price if you want to move that stonework and the flagpole and everything up closer.
The flagpole is on the left field, makes sense.
Okay.
Yeah.
But,
This should be a part of that.
I'm
subcommittee.
suggesting that this gets wrapped in
Yeah.
right,
to
Agreed.
to the memorial, what we wanna do with it, because I think. Honestly, I think we could fundraise to move that. I really do.
Yeah, and it's part of a bigger picture of what we
Yeah,
want
yeah.
to present.
So why don't we look
please.
at that? And I think, Joe, it would not be a bad idea to get some idea cost-wise, what it would cost to take that and move it dead center behind the backstop, just to get some idea. Just as a general area, not specific, but just,
Grove Street.
Grove Street, everything's complete there, all the ride-on toys are all in.
What?
It's finished mulch,
Wait,
done.
can I cross it off the list?
We have another step with Grove Street, we have CPA money to work on the court, just work in progress.
Not, I'm crossing it
put it
off.
back on the list.
get your pencil out of your hand.
That won't happen this year, that's. for
No,
another
it's next
project
spring.
that's entirely. Any questions on Grove?
No.
Okay, Lake Mansfield, you know, I think we had a successful year up there, with some learning hurdles we went through.
Sure.
I think there's still some work to do up there, we met with the contractor and the engineer. you know, to address things like the washout of the beach and
Right,
the washout on the walkway, so those things aren't forgotten, but we'll try to have things addressed before next year.
Joe, the ravine on the beach, was that because somebody turned the water on and didn't shut it off?
One of them was that,
Okay,
this, other one was runoff from the walkway.
okay, I was like looking at it going,
Yep, someone,
okay,
so
great,
they put a handle on it for construction, never got taken off. So I think the handle's off it.
okay,
So Lake Mansfield, there, you know, that project isn't completely done, there's plantings that are happening this fall.
Great.
Trees and things like that are going.
Great.
So before we jump to the skate park, there has been another grill installed up at Lake Mansfield.
Right.
There's a second one installed in the Housatonic Playground, and a grill is installed at, Old Maids. Picnic tables have been installed at Old Maids. The dog poop receptacle, has been ordered, it's not done, it hasn't been done yet.
don't cross that off.
What's that?
Okay. No, I was just telling you not to cross it off.
We tabled it anyway.
Yeah,
I mean, I think Memorial Field has had some good, participation in visitors, we got to install more trash cans there, which is a good sign.
Great.
I think that's about it.
Okay.
Oh, so, yeah, that's that, so skate park.
Yeah, so I just wanna, I know that this is the beginning of a much longer conversation, so I wanna just frame it as such. So, go for it, Joe, but let's, keep it.
Yeah, I don't think it's really worthy to get into the plan tonight, because everyone's just gonna see it, so Alana has a packet there. That is a copy for everybody to take. It's taken what, we've talked about as a group, you know, basketball hoops, we've taken what the skateboard group has put together for us. And thank you, that was a lot of work that put into it, it actually made our job a little easier on our end, because. And so that's been all reflected in. I can send it to you guys electronically too. There's also, cost associated with it, in that package. Yeah.
It's amazing.
It's scary. So anyways, I think the commission has some reviewing to do on that. And again, you guys here, I think if you review it and you got concerns or questions, send them to me. Okay, and then we'll get all the things together. We'll talk to try and talk about what we're doing there. And I think the commission's input on how we try to tackle this financially probably should happen.
Can you give me and all of us just a super broad brushstrokes?
Oh.
Next step?
Of this,
No, like of. Yes, maybe of this. So like let's say we want to move forward and we decide we want to start looking for funding. Can you talk us through like the next step?
Well, no, I'm waiting, because I'm just thinking, because it's like, it's a progressive thing, like, is there, this year we can do this ramp, and next year we can do the bowl and that kind of thing.
it's gotta be phased.
You know,
That's what I'm saying.
like the basketball court, there was a question at one point, someone approached the town about doing the basketball court and what would it cost? Well, the basketball court alone was $300+ grand. So, you know, the commission may say, hey, let's try to get half of that from CPA and half of it ourselves. So we do the basketball court, or we do, you know, whatever, start to back to work out.
So pardon my naivete about this, but like, let's pretend we wanted to phase this.
Yep.
Who is advising us on phasing this?
So again, just off the cuff, I would think that we would try to pay the design costs once, design the whole thing.
Yeah.
And then phase one is this, phase two is this, phase three, and we have to go out for bid in phases.
But the design, the design all at once would include the, an elaboration on the phases.
Right.
Yeah.
Basically, it'd be a complete project.
Yes.
And it would be shaded, we'll say, in year one, year two, or.
Segmented.
Yeah.
So Joe, it may not make a difference because we don't have the money, but would we also look into how much more it would cost us to phase it as opposed to doing it all at once? Because our contractors are on site.
Oh, God.
You have a time value of money, you actually have cost associated with putting out the bid, which is 20 grand plus. So there is a cost to wait, so we can do that. I can try to put something together.
I mean, I think in terms of just collecting more information to help us make the decision, I think that'd be really helpful. Are there other things, other questions the commissioners have?
Well, like one thing in the proposed concept is shade trees provided by others, which we discussed, no, that was discussed. Or started to get discussed last month, but is this also something that we could?
So
We have as part of the plan and also something that could be,
I think that
we could do fundraising for, or people could donate. Or we could look for some outside sources perhaps for the
Yeah, I think
trees.
we gotta be careful on fundraising.
Yes.
Okay,
I don't know how that,
yeah,
we're not supposed to list that.
well, I guess what I'm looking at is.
So
If you're looking at a
solicit
$2 million
donations.
plan,
on the trees,
your trees are $80,000. I think you'd have to have the chicken and the cart and the horse and some other things first before we get into that.
yeah, so I think on the trees though, they had taken the proposal that was handed to us and they reflected it in the plan. I think they spaced the trees out a little bit more because they were looking at the mature size of them. So the quantity has changed a little bit and the spacing has changed a little bit. But I think where those are being planted, you could still put those in an early phase, so
Yeah.
they start developing.
Cool,
Right,
great.
You might have to leave one out near the entry where.
It should be the springboard for the start.
Yeah, so I think that's doable. I think the challenge that you as commissioners have with trees down there is, we want shade, but we end up with leaves.
Right.
Okay, so those are just things detailed.
Great,
So I'll work on that and I try to get something back for us next month.
that sounds great. Yes, Shooter.
Does this estimate include redoing the basketball court
It does,
and like hoops and all?
yes.
Oh, yeah.
So, on that, I have 2 new basketball hoops. They've been assembled down at the buildings and grounds. They should be able to unbolt the ones that are there and bolt these back in. So
Nice.
hopefully within the next few weeks, I'll have those at each end, one of each end, to at least make it usable.
I think this looks off. Did you guys, is this you guys doing this part
Well,
or
can I-
contributing to this?
Dave?
Designed it, but, yeah, if you look at the first page, we really only want number 2.
Ty and Bond flushed with that. Am I correct there?
We did. There were requests by the young people. Sort the request, but there's probably a tiered system in which we can say this is like priority 1, which is just taking what's there and. For what I say.
I think it will be helpful for us, gentlemen. I get it. I supported this first iteration a long time ago. Yeah, I think it'd be really important
this is what they cut.
that you put your
Not bad.
wish list. Okay. So we have some guidance, because $2 million right now. I don't need to be,
I just did that list 5 years ago.
Well, that doesn't
Four,
all
three,
contribute
two,
to
and
this.
1.
no, I understand it. I understand that. It's the whole, it's the whole McGill.
The work that you guys have done
It's great.
has been exceptional and like what you've done for the community, even up to this point is like invaluable. So that's not included in this.
Right,
$2
that's
million.
what I think.
So first of all, thank you so much. And if you are willing to stay engaged in this relationship going forward, we would love to hear your priorities moving forward at all the stages. So I know you guys have been in touch and you have ways of keeping in touch. Will you all let us know how we can support that happening as smoothly and efficiently as possible?
So if you look at the skate element of it and you just kind of go through and say, hey, this would be. Second thing.
Yeah.
We'll look at
What-
constructibility.
David, I'm
Sure.
sorry.
Yeah,
Can you
we
be
can work
more
in the
clear
background.
about that?
Number 2 doesn't do anything for us.
So in your packet, renovate the gate plaza. Yeah, resurface with asphalt or concrete, replace curbs.
Got it.
That's all we want.
So just to be clear, that's on page 4 of the packet, and it is the part of the diagram that is labeled number 2.
Yeah.
Thank you,
Yeah.
super.
That's number 1.
Kind of what's there, we just wanted. Practice it up, yeah,
Right.
Cleaned up.
because it's coming apart and just gradually degrading.
So what I would ask is you do that, you
Yeah.
kind of number, it, but the thing is, if that's your number 1 priority, and it means we do that. and we have to drive over with construction equipment to get to phase two, it doesn't make sense to do phase one.
Right.
So I think if you put your wishes together, then we can look at how we can figure that into the
Stages.
the phases of construction.
Just so that we are not having to redo things that have already been done. Yes, Damon.
I'm sorry, that was all we asked for, was the ground to be fixed and curbs. And Joe asked us to do this big project, but as the skate community.
Yes.
We don't want $2 million skate park, we literally just want the ground fixed.
I like your style.
I mean, honestly,
As a taxpayer.
Yeah, this was like a swing for the fences.
Yeah, this is home run derby. Thank
Yeah,
you.
but the bowl doesn't drain, so fill the bowl in, get rid of it, you know, I mean,
I mean,
it's like.
if it fixes the other parts, go ahead.
Yes.
Like, it's that dangerous.
Great, heard and so appreciated, and thank you for the clarity and the clarification. What I'm not hearing you say is please don't do all of the rest of this stuff.
Oh, I'm just saying, like.
Right.
Concern one. is,
Right?
Yes, if
Got-
you did want the one thing, everyone would be so happy.
Got it, got it.
Real.
But they're not gonna turn it down if we happen to find a bag of money.
Totally, so, great, awesome. That helps clarify where we are with this and also where we need to go sooner rather than later. So again, guys, thank you, really, really a lot. Yeah, Damon.
Will we still have to work with Railroad Street, Joe, or can we just work with you? Like, you know how we were having those meetings with everybody?
Yeah.
We just work with you.
I think as long as you're giving us a representative, you know, you're representing what the skate community wants, I'm good with that.
Well,
You know,
I never understood the concept of Railroad Street and skate community, so that's why I'm asking.
So
As a skate-
I can clarify that just a little bit, which
Yeah.
is that Railroad Street as the community partner that is like overseeing and stewarding the staffing of the skate park through the summer. They will be a part of the conversation, but in terms of this stuff and the planning, I don't think we need everybody at the table. I think we can just, if you guys just come back to us with Railroad Street here. And also get feedback from them regularly, I think that is an ongoing conversation.
This draft page, I think it would be kind of accurate to say that this was everybody coming to the table.
Yeah.
Can you,
Like this was working with the youth project.
yes.
So that,
Oh, draft, thank you so much.
the,
Thank you.
And the railroad being the tenant in the building, not our building, our land, kind of a funny procedure. And want to keep them informed what's going on. But I understand your.
Yeah.
Yes, one more, Dan,
Oh,
please.
just with the fundraising thing too.
Yeah.
There are many skateboarding opportunities for fundraising. You just have to kind of start doing it. I know it's not an easy process, but it's not, we're in a rush to do this too, so. There are organizations that do help towns to get skate parks.
If you guys want to pass along suggestions for funding opportunities,
Yeah.
we will say yes.
There's one just called the skate park project, which would pretty much.
That's what it is. Give it like matching. Other small ones, too, like the grant funding and stuff like that. Yes.
Sound good?
It's matching, so.
yeah, absolutely.
Sound good?
And they have representatives too that might help us navigate some of this stuff as well.
Great. That
Yeah,
sounds great.
That'd be great.
Yes, please, and thank you. Good. Any more discussion about this? in
Nice
this
job,
one?
guys.
Yeah, really.
It's great.
So this will remain on the agenda and we will return to this conversation next month. Joe Moore?
The last thing with skate park, is the fountain hasn't been installed yet.
Thank you.
We have engaged the contractor, we have the fountain here, it's just getting it in the schedule. So,
Thank you. Molly, did you hear that? And can you take that back to Railroad Street? I know we'll hear from you in just a minute, but
So how long will it be in before you have to shut it off?
A week.
It'll be there next.
Okay,
At the same time, we're putting one in Grove Street.
okay,
Memorial, so.
okay,
great.
thank you.
Thank you so much.
Awesome.
Awesome. Okay, next updates, just Parks, Policies and Procedures Subcommittee. We had a good meeting. We don't have anything to report, but the next meeting is September 30th at 1 o'clock here at Town Hall. Please feel free to join us if you possibly can. Then it says Joe Abershon.
Joe, what you got to say, bro? You any updates you haven't done yet? Cause if you have, let's get
I
to
mean,
it.
I think it's actually the softball stuff. I think she just split it into two.
There's a packet there that Alana can hand out.
Thank
to
you.
Yeah.
All right, they're gonna all blow camp.
Thank you.
Goodbye, boys. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks.
So I just want to hit the highlights of this. You guys can take this home and look at it, but Little League gave us some feedback. There was 840 youth hours in total. About 32% of the players are Great Barrington, 145 in total, 47 in Great Barrington. So 269 youth hours of Great Barrington student youth, 4 levels. So they have a pretty substantial program, clearly. Sometimes I don't think we all know the detail and the depth of it and what they're doing for the community. So, that's the Little League, Southern Berkshire Youth Football. There's, 3 levels to play, 74 participants, 33 from Great Barrington. 8,000 youth hours, 6,800 youth hours, 3,000 in Great Barrington youth hours, 3 in the levels of play. Softball, 45 participants. Between practice and games, there's 3,050 youth hours, 1,496 youth hours for Great Barrington residents. And then we, from before, you all know that. The Housatonic basketball, 12,000 youth hours, and 7,900 youth hours of Great Barrington residents. So this just gives us data for a couple reasons. One, we know what they're doing for us for nothing. They're using our facilities. But I mean, they do a lot for our youth. But it also shows us broken down by town where the people are coming from. So as we capture this data, maybe we want to hand it over to Mark and let them tap on our neighbor's shoulders, and maybe they'll participate.
What's happening?
And I'd have to ask the groups like Little League, I think they use fields in Sheffield too.
Yeah.
So that's a little more even as opposed to, maybe football. You know, I'm just pulling that out of the air, but who may only use our fields, right? And I think you have to also look at that.
I also think that this, when you have people at town meeting and we have a budget of 120,000, oh, we're gonna cut it by a third, it's like,
Yes.
this is what
Kind of stuff they need to.
we need to pay attention to. Stop your whining and pay attention.
Well, but having said that, in their defense, we don't make this public at the town meeting.
Why not?
We don't, we could.
We
should.
will.
Yeah.
Well, now we have this is the first time we've had this stuff.
Right, now it's time to show it.
Right, it's dependent on us. We could have gotten this information 5 years ago. Thankfully, Joe got it now.
Yeah, Joe, this is awesome, but I think also there could be a way of having this part of the approval process. Which is that when we approve some team or some event, we want feedback about
We
numbers.
started that. this
We did.
past year.
Yeah,
We did, and, after the season, I just mark my calendar and I reach out to the organizers and ask for this information back. So, I have it filed and we'll keep collecting it, but I think it can serve a lot of purposes. One, I think because when I walked in here, it was like, a Little League didn't take care of the field, this guy didn't take care of the field, that guy didn't take care of it, and rightly so, they didn't. Okay, but I think we found a few different ways to skin the cat here.
Mhm.
One, opens our eyes, for what we get for no dollars. You all know what we used to spend for people to sit in Housatonic and watch 2 kids a day in Housatonic.
Sure.
$20,000 or something like that. But also, we've also teamed with these people, and for example, like Chip Chip's been taking care of the Little League fields for Little League and the Babe Ruth field. So we have a vinegar solution all set up over in the Parks Department. It makes it easy for them. We bought them a backpack sprayer. Come over and fill it when you want it. So he's helping us help him.
Right.
Type of
It
thing.
works great.
We bought one piece of equipment that makes our fields look amazing after we rake them. And so we've done that a couple times now, and our fields look great. So I think there's a lot of approaches we can take teaming with these people.
great.
I guess one of the things I'd love to see the commission do, especially as budget time comes around, is to, and thanks to these people, not only for taking care of our fields, but let's find a way to help them. You know, let's find a way to, you know, the Little League, hey, here's 3,000 balls and say County Great Barrington or something like that. You know what I'm saying? A few $1,000s to these people, I mean, would just entice the people.
I'll tell you what, years ago, when I first started being involved with softball, the only part of the budget that the softball league got was 3, 4, 5 dozen balls for the.
Right,
And it was years and years ago. I
Oh,
don't get it, but-
decades, let's use the right phrase, decades, Jeff.
Decades ago.
Yeah,
But it's just, I mean, we couldn't pay.
They weren't even as fancy as having the town of Great Barrington on. It's just that we're
here's some
given,
balls.
given a couple dozen balls of the junior size and 2 or 3 dozen of the seniors and.
We can't pay for services that these people do for us.
No.
Great, well, I think that is a perfect segue to our next item, which is the Parks Revolving Fund. Joe is going to, in an ongoing way, keep us updated of funds that come into us through parks usage fees and other.
Yeah, so like Berkshire Grown will go in at this next year. Berkshire Grown's payment came in June, the revolving account wasn't approved till July, so it didn't make it into free cash.
Joe, where's the pickleball, has the pickleball guy sent you a check in the last month?
I thought I
All
remembered
right,
seeing
I'm gonna get on him, cause,
So those type of things will come in and go into this account and.
right, I'll follow up on that.
Then we could use this for balls or.
Yeah, we could use this for
I think
whatever.
I love the balls thing.
Yeah.
I think we should definitely do that next year.
Yeah, I think it's a good idea. My one question is, and Joe, you may know this, I mean, I could find out, right, what restrictions on using this? I know there's a bunch of restrictions how this can be spent.
I'll find that out.
Okay.
But I think I don't know if the balls will work, but for maintenance and care, I think is clearly on that list.
Yeah. That we can use it for. Yeah.
$2,500 doesn't do too much.
No, it does some
I'll see if
balls.
I can get that.
All right, great. Thank you
Thanks,
so much. This is gonna be on the updates part of the agenda, month
Marvelous.
over month, okay?
Information.
Great, Railroad Streets. Molly, I know you're here for Devon.
Yes.
Anything you wanna share with us now? I know we're gonna, have a longer conversation next month.
Yeah, so just some updates from Devon. We have a new ramp going in that was a project from a young person. Joe, Alana, and Karen already know about this, but just wanted to tell the whole committee. And just wanted to hear about the water fountain and if there are any updates with that.
Do you wanna say,
It's coming.
She must have been snoozing.
It's
Joe, will
coming.
you say it one more time?
They're here. We met with a plumbing contractor to install them. It was just getting on his list. And about 2-3 weeks ago, when Brian met with them, I think we're a few weeks out, so I would hope that they're happening in the short term here. I'll follow up on that,
Great,
but I know we asked to be on the list.
great.
Cool. Thank you. And then we also just wanted to invite the community and particularly the Parks and Rec Committee to our mentor trainings. These are spaces that are like great ways to learn skills about empowering youth voices, uplifting youth voices, in an effort to make all spaces, but especially local government, more intergenerational. Coming to a mentor training doesn't mean you'll be a mentor, but it's just a good way to gain skill sets. And we'll keep you updated on when the next one is.
Yes, please, Molly, when you have the update on the next one, if you'll send it to us, we will bring it in front of the commission.
Definitely. And that's it. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Is anybody here from Berkshire South? Great. Okay,
So on Berkshire South,
Yeah.
I mean, I can't tell you how much they were helpful with the lifeguard situation. You know, pulling it together, filling it when they can. I think it really built a bond between the town and Railroad Street. I
And
mean,
Berkshire South.
Berkshire South, so, we didn't cover every day, but we covered a lot of the days,
Sure.
so. put our brains together for the next season.
So, yeah, I was not clear through the summer that one of the reasons that the lake was not always staffed was just a staffing issue of not being able to find the lifeguards. I did ask Denise to come to the next meeting so that we can start the conversation sooner, in preparation for the future. And she said she would.
Well, I think we still have to go through
Yeah,
the procurement.
That's
Absolutely.
the problem right now, is I think that, with all due respect, procurement is still
And absolutely still
the
an issue.
bottom line.
Absolutely, but I wanna make sure that we are, getting feedback from what they did and didn't do and weren't able to do.
Correct.
And helping us to build the possibility of it just being smooth sailing for next year.
Yeah, so, I mean,
Okay.
there's clearly lessons learned that will facilitate the
Yeah.
procurement on the things, the better serve the town.
Yes.
Right. Thank you.
Yes.
Excellent. Citizens. James, you wanna,
Oh, it's, Eliana, we're together.
oh, great. Right,
See.
will you introduce yourself and?
Oh, I'm Eliana Peterson, and I'm a teacher at the Berkshire Water School, but I'm also a close friend of Hilda Banks Shapiro before she passed away. So last October 2nd, I came to the Selectmen Town meeting with a proclamation to, based on the people in the community and friends of hers, who wanted to have a official Hilda Banks Shapiro Community Day. And it's a no cost, fee event. And this year we were hoping, well, it was supposed to be the second week of October. However, our wonderful and really full Indigenous People Weekend Day is happening that weekend. And so, being the only person on the committee, so to speak, I made the decision to switch it because I didn't want to take away anything from that, because I love attending it. So we're having it on the third weekend instead, and it's a small event. It's not a huge event. In fact, 50 to 75 people, would be amazing, but it's probably more likely below 50.
Third week in October.
October 19th, yeah, the Saturday. That's what we were hoping to do from 1 to 3, just 2 hours.
The gazebo.
Yeah, back here.
Yeah.
Just have a post.
And this would be a town event. This would be a town event because then there would be no requirement for any insurance or anything like that.
Exactly.
So are you asking the Park and Rec Commission to sort of sponsor this event?
Well, to make sure it was.
Look at me. Are you
Yes.
that's.
Okay,
It doesn't be open meeting law. This falls under Alana and Joe and whoever else can approve it. We can't vote on this. tonight.
Right.
But we do have that contingency in our policies or however we have it.
Alana and Mark can do it.
Yeah, Alana and Mark can do it and it can be done without a problem.
Oh.
We just can't vote on.
But it's good
the agenda.
that it's,
Out there to.
No,
all
I'm
of
glad
us.
you're here.
no,
But may I ask you to say your name one more time?
Sure,
Because
Eliana Peterson.
Eliana Peterson.
from Berkshire Waldorf School,
Yes.
and you are trying to set up and facilitate an honoring of Hilda Banks Shapiro on the 19th of October,
From 1 to 3.
1 to 3 at the gazebo.
And so what I would like to ask you to do is to send us a parks usage request form with all of that information.
I beg your pardon, I thought I
Emailed it.
attached my email.
It did come in.
I sent it to the email, just never bounced back, so
To whom?
to the. Would be parks, whatever it says there.
Okay, well, great, then we already have it.
I didn't get it,
I didn't get it,
and
but
Carolyn didn't get
we
it.
will make sure it comes all the way
Well, I
through.
can leave you this, I sent it as an attachment, so hopefully, it didn't bounce back, so.
Can we give them this one?
Of course.
Great, I'll take that one, that
There
would
you
be
go.
awesome. And then could you be in touch with me tomorrow after the meeting so that I can officially approve it with Mark? Thank you.
So when's we'll have to come to the meeting?
No, you're all set.
That's not happening.
Anything? Yes.
He has my name, the next meeting is, yeah, would be too late. Yes, he has the way to contact me, absolutely.
No,
Yep.
all you do is send Mark, scan it, Prove it, he did happen to come up at the meeting, everything's got.
Never got through, he's never bounced back.
I looked for it, but I didn't see
It
it.
may have gone to Carolyn, it certainly didn't come to me.
Yeah, no problem. We'll
We
take
got
it,
it.
but otherwise it would have had a more prominent place on the agenda.
Here we go.
Thank you so much. You
No, we're working on this. Don't get-
All right, we're almost done. Thank you guys are done. Thank you so much. May I have the commission's order, please? Hey, guys,
Yo,
also you. Thank you. Are we good with, we're good with this?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
have a sparkling evening.
Okay, more citizens.
I mean, I was here thinking that I was needed to check in about the trees again, it's still to come back, so that's why I'm here. I don't need to say anything.
Thank you for being
We're
here.
on it, Chris.
Yeah, I'll check.
We're on.
Yeah. I'm gonna
Thank
check
you.
in with Joe about what has changed with the three.
Great. Thank you.
Thanks for being on.
Okay, so I do, please, Jeremy, yes, please come forward. There's one more. So just, hi.
Hi.
So just to say, I did get this parks usage request form, not in time to make the agenda, so this is the same kind of situation, but I do have some questions for you. This is about XWA Extreme Wrestling Alliance Halloween wrestling at the Hoosie Dome on October 26th from 12 to 7. And it cannot be approved at this meeting. But my questions are, is there a cost associated with this event?
Yeah, so so Jerry does wrestling, he's done it in Berkshire County. The only place we haven't got it was down here at the Hoosie Dome.
Uh-huh,
I coach at the Hoosie Dome, I've been there for about 8 years, my kids have been through there, I've put my time in. So he has a fee because he has people who's coming out,
yeah,
so it's about $15 at the door.
okay.
Um,
So this is like a performance, and so there's a fee associated with the performance, and then there are other things, food and.
It's finger foods, cause like I said, I have my safe serve, but I have to contact the Board of Health. I know they have like, cookout spots, so I didn't know how it
Right.
could go about that, cause.
So what I'm not sure of with you coming forward before the commission is how we as a commission feel about for-fee performances at the Hoosie Dome. And so I'd like to hear from commissioners about, the date is the 26th of October.
But we have a policy that they would have to pay something.
They would have to pay something, right?
Could I say something?
What do they get, can I ask you, what are they doing?
I think
What
it's
is this performance?
wrestling.
So,
What type of wrestling?
can I tell you?
That's why I'm asking the question.
Yeah, so it's Halloween, so there's really nothing around here for the kids during Halloween.
What type of wrestling?
It's a costume wrestling, so they're gonna be wrestling for Halloween dressed up in costumes.
You're not answering my question. Is this Greco-Roman wrestling? Is this WWE wrestling? What is this?
So the main performer is an ex-WWE, but this is more so of a small-time company who's been connected with wrestling for a long time and is done in Berkshire County. So he goes to different events in different towns and they do performances.
Performance wrestling.
Yeah,
It's a
so,
performance and not a wrestling match.
yeah, it's-
All wrestling
It's
matches.
not physical, it's not physical.
You just described wrestling matches.
yeah, no, it's not with kids, it's with the entertainment, the people that are gonna be there.
The guys that come, you got like 4 or 5 guys that come in and they beat each other with chairs and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
it's just, no, it's
They just
right.
they had one last week up in Pittsfield, I remember seeing it on
Yeah, he just did,
Facebook or
he
something.
just did it in Pittsfield.
Yeah.
So we were just trying to get it down here for the kids. And so he has his own team of different people that come out and they do wrestling. I already took the measurements as far as the dome because I'm there coaching and it's big enough space. So I figured I know the kids.
What's the attendance limit on the Hoosie Dome?
So you'd have a ring in the middle, would it be a
It's a ring
ground
in the
floor?
middle,
or-
It's 25 feet
Mhm.
in the middle. And it's 75 from one side and 65 as far as the dome is concerned.
Sure.
So we have plenty of room in the middle, and then the bleachers come out on this side, and we have room on this side for the other seats. So it's kind of a balance. It's not crowded. It's I've been in the dome packed for championship basketball. I mean, we've had a lot of people there.
Yeah,
What's the protection on the floor?
He has the ring and then just like rubber around it, but at 5 feet.
The ring goes on directly on the floor, or is there a mat under the ring?
I'm not sure.
So I would have Joe look at that, because the last thing we want, and I know you don't want the floor. So,
He's trying to make it work.
I mean,
No, I get it.
I'm also, noticing that there are 4 adult chaperones plus 1 chaperone for parking and security.
So with security, well, that would be me, just being outside, and I just wanna make sure everything is correct, you know? As far as the chaperone, my wife would be one, Jerry would be there and his partner as well. So it's like our whole team will be there, but you said specifics, so I wanted to make sure.
Yeah,
we're full.
absolutely. I appreciate that. Joe?
Is this, you're charging for people to come to this?
He has to try something.
Okay.
Like I said, one is a WWE. If we had grant money or something, I would do this to be different, you
Yeah.
know, but.
Well, I think when you start charging for it, that just puts you into the insurance category.
He's got,
I have it.
Okay,
Yeah.
you know, I think,
And it's 15, like it's real minimum, he charged 20 a day. You know, he's trying to work it, but he's.
So if you have a family of 5, it would be $75 to come, right?
People do pay it. They used to do it at Wacona Park.
Yeah.
And people do pay it.
I think you have to probably involve, you know, like we talked about how you involve the other departments. I think need to be some projection on people that are coming in, because if it turns into a bunch of people coming, you gotta turn people away, you're not gonna have a problem,
yes,
you know, so I think there's
some
more that needs to be looked in with the fire department, police department, just to make sure they're on board with this.
agreed. So Jeremy, my feeling about this is that like, I just don't know. We've not done this before. I don't know anything about this. I haven't been to the event elsewhere. And so it feels like more research needs to be done before saying this is like a go and easy. I think one concern is the Whoosy Dome itself and the care of the Whoosy Dome. Another concern that I have is I can imagine that this would be a popular event, and like, how do you regulate the number of people? That's,
I mean, just like I do entertainment, you know, I've been at the VFW, I've done entertainment on my own. You regulate it at the door.
Yeah.
You know, you sell out tickets, or you have people coming in, you shut it down.
yeah,
I mean, it's never been done out here, so we
Right.
don't even know the capacity.
totally,
We just trying to figure it out,
right,
but there's nothing out here. I have my kids out here, we do sports, I'm into sports, but there's really nothing extra.
yeah.
Wrestling is just something that, you know,
Yeah.
is in our backyard.
Karen and then Steve. And then Bill.
I have a real tough time with this whole thing. I really just do. But one way I think that may be helpful is you may want to talk to the other places and spaces in Berkshire County who've done this
Mhm.
and find out what the good, the bad, and the ugly is.
Mhm.
And see, get a referral, see, get a reference.
Yeah,
I
Yeah,
only
this was
wanted
good.
I only wanted to go to the Woozy Dome because.
No,
of
honey,
the kids.
this has nothing to do with you being a meritorious fellow. What I want to know is where this has happened before and what those
We get
facilities,
Contact information.
I want to know who they were.
In Pittsfield the other night.
yeah, that'd
Yeah,
be great.
let's,
That'd be awesome.
what do they have to say about it? It was a good idea, it was a bad idea, let's find out that
They
way.
did it at the community center, they sold out, it was positive, I can get that.
That'd be awesome. That'd be great.
Absolutely.
Yeah, the other thing is, I think what Joe was talking about, and we don't have a lot of time, but we could do it, to go through what's called the design review team. It's gonna have the police, the fire, the board of
Yep.
health, and let them make a recommendation. It's gonna have to be to you and Mark.
Yeah.
It's not gonna be to this board, but there's a whole team that looks at events in town. These things are good for the kids. We
Sure.
may not like it, but the kids like things like this, but it's the first time doing it. It's actually a good place to do it because it's small enough. That it would be
Right, it's
hard
not
to get
good,
out
you
of here.
can't have 4,000 people.
Yeah,
Great.
so it's actually, if it
So-
works, then
If you're
Great.
game to keep moving forward on this, let's move forward on it, and there's some more homework for us to do together, so you'll get me the contact information for the place in Pittsfield, that would be great. And have a conversation with Joe about the space itself, and then what's the way?
design review team. Mark.
That's everybody,
That's everyone.
Board of Health, cops, fire department,
Everyone will just say, okay, we think it's a good idea, but you need to do this, or
Right.
they'll say no.
parking, what you're gonna do.
You're opening the door for other people, so this is gonna take a little bit, but it's like, thank you very much for doing that.
Yeah.
I think it sounds great.
I've been out here.
Yeah.
I have been.
Rich runs the DRT.
Chris does.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so
There
if
you
you
go.
turn around and you take that parks request thing and the information, you know, give it to Chris, you know, I think we meet every other Tuesday. And we can call a special meeting.
Yeah,
Right.
great,
This way here, everyone gets to weigh in,
perfect.
you know.
And you have my contact information and I have yours,
Yes.
so let's just
There you go.
be right away in touch, yes?
Yeah.
You good?
I think it sounds great.
Great. Excellent. Any other citizens?
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks very much.
Appreciate it, guys.
Commissioners, Karen,
Nothing.
Bill,
No.
Yeah.
Paul,
No,
Yes.
hey, this, can we close this?
No, he said he has something.
Yeah,
Oh,
two
you
quick
did?
things.
Okay,
Two
great.
quick things. Took. Being that I have nothing to time lately, I went through some old. Minutes and stuff, and in regards to the Olympian Meadows soccer situation.
Yeah,
And in the April of 2023 meeting, right? In bold print, there could be no organized groups.
Bingo.
yes, thank
So
you.
that covers us
Yep.
for that.
Yep,
And the only other thing I got is, I remember at one of our meetings in early summer, there was quick blurb about somebody or something, or whether it was a lifeguard that saved a life
uh-huh,
at the lake.
yeah,
Yes.
And
We enjoy.
more us to do some kind of citation.
Spotting the light from the bushes and opening fire.
With the citizen.
Saying
No,
the
it's a-
suspect never got off a shot when he allegedly left.
Considering how many drownings we've had locally.
can I challenge that subcommittee to take this on as like, what we're talking about is honoring people? And that we really should have a way of honoring people in this community.
But there is a way, so I think Derek's right, if you just send the recommendation to Mark, it will happen in the select board.
Okay,
meeting,
great.
Unless you want the parks to do it.
No, that's great.
No, I think it should.
But
go
I
for
just
the
didn't, you know, it's something that seemed like it just got swept
Jill
aside.
Fleming.
I just remember it being
There was
mentioned
somebody-
quickly and that was it.
Yeah, I forgot
It was
about it.
Jill Fleming and then,
What was
but
that?
Steve Small
Somebody.
helped me for
Lifeguard
3
rescue.
days.
Or
on
it turns out to be it was
You know, just
citizen.
that's a thank you, but I mean, Jill Fleming
You know,
saved
you
that,
see it in
saved
the
that
paper
kid.
all the time, that
That's a big,
all the other towns and on the news are giving citations for people that do stuff like that.
Yeah.
Here,
Thank you for bringing it up.
is there a precedent for like Parks Commission to give some kind of
I don't know
award?
if it's precedent, but we could do it. Typically, the select board does it, but it could be done by parks, there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
If you rather we do it than the select board, that's fine. For me, I'm sitting here or I'm sitting there, so it doesn't matter.
Well, you could
That's
give
what's
that to them. He's the boss.
The one thing, let me just finish.
he's got more power there.
The one thing that's a positive is unlike this meeting, we do have press coverage, so it may
Right,
be a little more.
Yeah, I like that.
I like that too.
Yeah.
Yeah, other than Eileen, who covers everything and we're grateful for that.
Thank you, Eileen. And this meeting is adjourned.
Thank you.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Oh, right.